long time ago, when I was a young boy, I saw that movie, Mutiny on the Bounty, staring my idol Marlon Brando, and I felt a yearning for that great adventure. So many nights I woke up out of a dream of blue seas, white sand, paradise birds, butterflies, and beautiful warm-hearted girls.
Son of Jamaica, the dreams of my life, our love is my sweet memory. Son of Jamaica, blue lady, my life, someday I'll return, wait and see.
As I grew older, this burning desire became so strong that I bought me a ticket to fly over. And then I found you, and we fell in eternal love right from the beginning. Stars falling down from the sleepy lagoon, palms swaying under the moon, and we swimming out into the calm crystal sea. In that fateful night, I thought to myself, I'll do everything I can, save up every dime, and one day I'll return, come back home to you, and then I'll stay forever, forever.
Son of Jamaica, the dreams of my life, our love is my sweet memory. Son of Jamaica, blue lady, my life, someday I'll return, wait and see. Ordered a sand and I'm happy with you. We shall be loving and true. Oh, I sure love my life with all of my heart. I will always be faithful and true. Yeah, true. Son of Jamaica, the dreams of my life, our love is my sweet memory. Son of Jamaica, blue lady, my life, someday I'll return, wait and see.
You tasted the pain of losing someone who could change. Don't even look back at this wasted moment's heart. Your heart should ain't what it used to be. She's not to blame, you should retreat. To watch it fall as you could see. Stop the game. You tasted the pain of losing someone who could change. Don't even look back at this wasted moment's heart. Your heart should ain't what it used to be. She's not to blame, you should retreat. To watch it fall as you could see. Start the game. for years, crying all your tears. Move you freaking eyes, forget about the past. You're not out of mind, now this world you'll find answers to your pain. Just walk and make it end. Tasting the pain of losing someone who can change. Don't even look back at this wasted moment's time. You're to anybody used to be, so not to blame, you should retreat. You watch it fall as you can see, start the game. See woke up in the morning with the sunrise in her eyes, but all that she sees is darkness. She won't tell you why. No more butterflies, 'cause they don't ever last. Stolen from the light by demons of the past. It's always raining. She keeps on praying. Oh, sunny days lift me when I'm down. Sunny days breaking through the clouds. Oh, sunny days. She keeps on praying. She keeps.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the FEI Young Riders European Championships at this beautiful venue, my family outpost. So good to have you all here. We're so excited. And now the Young Riders start their FEI European Championships with this time competition. Let's have a look into the course. The 80 competitors on our list. We start at obstacle number 1, and that is kind of a theme for this weekend. United in riding, we all are. Together with our horses, starting at fence number 1, this vertical over 1 meter 41.45. That is the height of this class, turning right hand side on the slightly right curve to the PSI Oxer number 2. Then turning left to the next Oxer, the Weisbauer electronic Oxer, to the first of 3 double combinations is the Pico Escaron combination with the vertical and Oxer 4A and B. Now, an important right curve to the yellow and white vertical towards the CWD vertical 5 to 6 up to 7 to the yellow, white and black Oxer with the water train underneath. That's the line 5, 6 to 7. Then turning back, roll back is the Oxer in orange, white and black colors from the left hand side towards this very interesting vertical with this pink colors and a plank up there of 1 meter 45 height. That's the line, 8 to 9. Turning towards the second double combination. This time we have an Oxer and a vertical. It's the Mika's double, obstacle number 10 up to Oxer number 11. The easy trade Oxer with red poles up there. And then the last line, very quickly comes the last and third double combination. This time double, the vertical combination and last, so possibly 5 strides towards this last Oxer. It's the Township Hagen Oxer into the finish line. Number 13 is going to be the last one to jump over. The goal is for each and everyone to stay clear best case and be quick and get a best first result to start off their first FEI Young Riders European Championship class. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. The first one is up all the way to the course. Irish.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to FEI TV, and what an afternoon of sport we have for you here from Hagen. It is the FEI Jumping European Championships for the youth, and the first of the competitions for the young riders. Competition number 1, the Table C, the speed element that will set them on their journey to the medals, both for team and individual, over the next 5-6 days. Having already seen the children this morning, the young riders is always going to be one of the highlights and always gives us plenty of highs and excitement. Now, the team order, the involvement of the team riders, everybody that's competing, whether they're in a team or not, they are therefore, of course, competing for individual honours as well. But when it comes to the teams, teams can have up to 5 riders on the first day, of which the best 3 scores will count. Kicking us off, it is the Irish team, and looking forward to these two. Dennis Lanley, their chef de keep, sending Ben Walsh in first with Zenith van der Donkover around this track of course designer Christian Weingaards. Moving up nicely. He's riding here with this 9-year-old combination, already delivering a double clear this year on Nations Cup duty. The Irish, of course, have been in quite brilliant form, the leading team. They've got a tremendous track record of medals. 2016 all the way through to 2025 last year. Ooh, hang on a moment, that wasn't part of the plan. Well, unfortunately, he's picked up 4 penalties, or 4 seconds is a better way of putting that, which is a shame. He helped that to win in France, Compiègne, the Youth Nations Cup Series this year, where Ireland have been doing so well with his double clear that day. But I think he'll almost be a little bit disappointed with the way that started off for both himself and inevitably the team. Obviously, as I say, this is a table C, so it's a timed competition. There's a conversion at the end which will bring things into those decimal points. Basically, the first championship score, each table C time is multiplied by 0.5 and then rounded to 2 decimal places. And then the leader is reset to 0 and everyone else carries the difference. And obviously in the team clarification, it's the best 3 scores amongst the nation's 5 combinations that count for this first competition. Well, onwards and forwards now to Sverrir Kristoffersen riding Kasper Ask, another 9-year-old. Rode at the Pony Europeans back in 2022 to finish in the top 20. Also rode on the team as well there. Now, unfortunately, another to pick up a 4-second penalty. Been producing some solid performances on the international circuit. Chef de keep, Bo Muller. The Danes, who have just that one young rider medal coming back in 2018 when they took the team bronze. And finishing on a time of 80.21, but of course that becomes 88.21. Sverrir Pedersen Kristoffersen and Kasper Ask. 78 left to go. 80 individual combinations to come forward in this table C. Now to Sweden. Could be an interesting combination to keep an eye on as well, because this partnership last year became the individual bronze medalists in Riesenbeck in the Junior European Championships. This then is Ullabella Hastak and Liam Nilsson. These two recently jumping in the Swedish Senior Championship final, finishing in the top 6 as well. 13-year-old now, quite a long-standing partner of his by Bonaparte Z. going to plan at the moment, but we're not there yet. Careful. You can just see already on the first party, and he was starting to just get a little bit forward, and then it catches him out at the second part. So 3 gone, but all the seconds added in. So 72.53 is still the quicker of the times, therefore becomes 76.53 with the 4 seconds added on. But we'll see what happens. But that was Leon Nilsson. Defence down today doesn't rule you out, doesn't take your team out of play. It'll all stay very close, but you can't hide from the advantage that you will have if you do end up winning today. That, you know, starting on a 0 score and going forward is always going to be a better place to be, because you're not relying on others having problems. But when it comes to individual honours, including today, they'll have done 5 rounds of jumping by the time they get to that podium. The teams will have, including today, completed 3 rounds before they get to the podiums. Obviously, the teams as even has the inevitability or potential possibility of a jump off. It just did happen a few years ago. We had a jump off for bronze and silver. Moving on, and now it looks like we've moved on one to Spain. This is Pablo Santiago A.T.W riding Chiquita de Guilly. This is a combination as well that were part of Spain's 2024 junior silver medal team. Now progressing up into the young riders. See how packed the bank is this afternoon. First round for the young riders today, and then the teams, they have tomorrow off, the young riders, so it'll be Thursday for the first round of the teams and Friday for the medals, and then Sunday for the individual final. Nicely done on the turn back, keeping moving. 4 seconds as it stands to go onto the clock. Ooh, and the last, so 8 seconds to add, so that becomes a final time of 87.38. Santiago A.T.W as the first to go for the Spanish lineup.
And next to go is Italy. One more come to this 12-year-old Belgian-bred son of Hagen a.T.W heartbreaker, Ombre van Solvliet and Lorenzo Privitera, competing for Italy.
On we go to the Italians. Italy starting things off under their chef de keep, Marco Bergomi, with their pathfinder Lorenzo Privitera riding Ombre van Solvliet. Recently jumping together in that World Cup Grand Prix in Budapest, just outside the top 10 they finished there. The Italian young rider team this year already winners in their home leg in Italy, and Pistoricio taking second place as well here in Hagen last month, and unfortunately fence 5 very much going down. 4 seconds to add. There's no predicting which fence might catch you out on this course, because they're all taking a fair bit of concentration and understanding to try and work the questions out with the right answers, and as of yet nobody's quite achieved that. Lorenzo's time moves up to 91.83 with the seconds added in. Lorenzo preferred to there as the first up of the Italian riders. On we go to Belgium, back to defend the title. Belgium, who have quite some track record in young riders. Of course, won the title last year, as they did in 2022, 2021, 2015. They were silver in 2017, 2019, 2023, and of course they took the bronze medal in 2024, which basically means they keep finishing on the podium and are always going to be marked out as the favourites in so many ways. Philip Lucas, their team manager. And of course here is Bart J. Jr. van der Kasteel with Lottie Blue Z. He rode last year on the gold medal winning team with Vamos de la Pomme. But with this new ride, he's already had a Grand Prix win in Bonheiden, and unfortunately, as fast as he's going, and boy is he pushing on here, he's going to add 4 seconds. Be interested to see how his time compares to Liam's. Bart's round has certainly looked to have that a little bit more flight and energy to it, but it's not that much faster. It's a second quicker, but not by much. Either way, 4 seconds added in. 75.50 is the final time for the first up from the defending champions, Belgium, there with Bart J. Jr., Van der Kasteel and Lottie Blue.
Now this is Switzerland, and we're crossing our fingers for our neighbours, the 11-year-olds scouted by Vigutas.
I think we're moving on to the Swiss team. Of course, Switzerland having to make a recent change, sort of last-minute change, because originally this team was going to have Getin Joliet on the team, but he's got another championships to worry about in Aachen in a few weeks' time, so they'll have brought in Celia Biassi and Pandy Floss to take that slot. Meanwhile, they begin with Brian Schmitz, the first up then for Switzerland, riding here with Verdi van Lanenhof Z. Certainly one of the teams that you'd always look as a little bit of maybe an outsider in the young riders, but knowing that ultimately they have got very talented combinations. These two went all the way through to the individual final in both of the last 2 Youth European Championships. He's slowing down a little bit, but that I think was just because he's trying to make sure he finds the right stride. Again, very different in the way that the style of this round has been to, for instance, we saw from Bart. Style is one thing, jumping clears is another, and not only is that clear, it's still the quickest we've seen. Brian Schmitz making it look rather simple in the end. That's a horse with a massive stride, eating up the ground, never really having to look like they were pushing. But either way, they now have given us a clear and stuck with the time they crossed the line with. 74.50 it is to go out in front. Well done. Good news for the Swiss, starting well. Next to go is Estonia. This is a combination competing here as an individual entry, not as part of the listed team event. Rode in the Youth Europeans back in 2022 when we were in Spain in Oliva. Lina Varula riding Esperanza Star. Taking over lever, they've been there recently, jumping well in the Grand Prix. Just got a little bit sticky off the ground, off that turn. It's tight, sort of becomes a little bit dead, and you need the momentum to be able to keep you over and carry you over that back rail. So coming home with 4 to add then, despite a 72.22 time. It is 76.22, goes into third place there for the Estonian individual. That was Lina Varula at Esperanza Star. So Brian Schmidt, 74.50 leads. In fact, I seem to have got them in a muddle. Well, that didn't take long. What's happened there? A little bit of a change in the line-up to confuse me. A previous combination was, in fact, Kirsten Katina Pakova riding Donna Lichen 70. And that was the partnership, actually, they were due in earlier, but we moved on and went past them, and then suddenly they appeared. So either way, this is now Lina Varela and Esperanza Star. Both are, these two combinations, still competing as individuals here this week. Fence, but again, seconds added. Lina Varela here. Well, they cross the line in 80.07 when you add in the seconds. So that goes into the top 5, but it's at very, very early stages. And only one combination so far has actually delivered a clear round. So clear rounds might prove to be quite powerful, quite valuable as the afternoon unfolds. Next to go, it's the first of the British team under their chef de keep, Tracy Newman. Pathfinder is going to be Lauren Caroline, Casaga PS. Lauren, back in 2023, was part of the junior team bronze medal lineup. That was with Gael. Recently been out to Drammen as part of the Senior Nations Cup lineup. The British team, of course, with a lot of youth medals and experience behind them, but they haven't won a Young Rider Gold as part of the team, I should say, since 2018. Although, as we're fully aware, the last 2 years, British individuals have won the Young Rider individual title. 2 years ago, it was Oliver Fletcher, and last year it was Rachel Proudley, who is back to defend her title. One more fence left to jump. The time's going to be pretty tight with Brian's. Where's this going to put Lauren Caroline? It's going to put her in the lead for the moment. Nice start for the Brits then, as Lauren Caroline leaves the fences standing and gives us the second clear, which means there's no seconds to add. The time stands 74.04, faster than the 74.50 of Brian Schmitz from Switzerland, who now sits in second place. But we know you can go an awful lot quicker around this course, but you've got to do it leaving them up. Next to go, the next in the lineup is for Norway. Part of the Norwegian team is Ingrid Schadi Boklund riding Pelusi Van Het Exilhoff. Rode last year at both the Young Rider Europeans as well as the Baltic Championships. Combination actually jumped quite well in the two-star in Rotterdam to sort of set themselves up to come here. Coming into the final line. Finishing with 4 seconds to add. That little pink fence over by the in-gate. Perhaps one of the tougher fences on this course. That's the 4 seconds. To Ingrid and Pelusi Van Het Exilhoff's time.
Gastgeber sind unterwegs mit dem 10-jährigen Livello Kitero, mit Little Tero aus der Holsteiner Zucht und mit Jade Carstensen.
Well, the hosts next to go, Team Germany. The combination to kick things off for the German lineup is Tada Carstensen riding Lintero 3. Team medal for Germany in the Young Riders came back in 2022 when they took the silver medal. This combination jumped clear an 8 in centre this year, this 10-year-old. Again we see a fence going down. It's the front rail off this time. Oh, there you have a final time of 78.95 with the 4 seconds added in. Otherwise it would have been third, but in the end it goes into 6th place.
So the first goal for the German team is 78.95 seconds.
Well, the next to go is Timon Vos. First for the Netherlands, rides his 11-year-old Cadillac Z. Timon, of course, who's had a fabulous career in the Youth Championships, 2019 Children Team Gold, that riding Theo. Then with I've Got the Key in 2022 and in 2023 was part of the Junior Team Silver Medal winning performances, and now in Young Riders hoping for that experience to continue in terms of medal winning. Have to keep Vincent Vaughan putting him out first as the lineup of Dutch riders watch on from the side. Certainly looking to keep the turns a little bit tighter than we saw maybe with Lauren and Brian, but again it's going to come down to whether he can leave all the fences standing. Perfect. 71.29. It's a clear and it's the fastest, and that's the first setting things on their way for the Netherlands. Lovely, lovely performance there from Timon Vos and Cadillac Z. So they could not have asked for a better start to the championship this year. We go to the French team. France's last medal came back in 2024 as a team with the silver medal. First of the riders looking to push their championship off to a good start is Vera de Sutter riding Demoiselle of Aranca. Back into last year, these two won the Grand Prix in Rouen. Vera, who also rode a couple of years back at the Youth Europeans in Oliva, where she got through to the individual final. Carrying 4 seconds. And that 73.89, so going into second place, ends up going into 7th place there. So that was Vera de Sutter.
The 7th place at the moment, to be 71.291 time Voss. Jetzt kommt Österreich. Wir drücken die Daumen für den Sieg, den Belgien gezogenen Quinn vom Nabab-Dere von Cash.
Still nothing changing. Timon Vos leads, Lauren Caroline second, and Brian Smith's third. Now we move our attention to the first of the lineup from Austria this week. This is Jasmin Alexandra Pirker riding Quinn the 5th, the 10-year-old. Back to seeing how difficult it is. Seconds is a lot of penalties, or a lot of seconds to have to add on to your time at the end. 16 is even more. Oh, there we go. Across the line for Jasmin and Quinn. A wrap up on a total time at 93.89.
Next right.
Well, we move our attention on now to Ireland's second rider. And a man in the arena now is Cohen Williams. 2023 junior team gold medalists, that with Catania. And young rider, team silver in 2025 when he rode Floris. Now with dominant Z, getting Ireland underway in the sort of second rider out of their 5. Help the Irish to third in the young riders in Hagen's Youth Nations Cup leg back in June. Of course, the first of the Irish riders we saw was Ben Walsh, who unfortunately did have a fence down to currently leaving, where is he, just outside the top 10 in 11th. It'll be 12 seconds added on to the time. Therefore becomes 87.22, as you can see, for the second of the Irish riders. They've not had the easiest start, unfortunately. Ireland, who are, doesn't mean they won't finish strong, but not the easiest start. Onwards, forwards, and to the second rider we see in the young riders then for Denmark. Clara Rosgaard Christensen. Oh, nicely done. Very, 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 very nicely done indeed. You can hear the support. It doesn't always mean that you've jumped the quickest round, but getting off to a clear round is always going to, well, one, get the crowd on your side, but more importantly, get you going with a really positive start. Times are one thing, but leaving fences standing is always ultimately the way you're going to win a title and maybe have a very good week. So well done there to Denmark. Now it is to Sweden. Yeah, Nelson was the first to go, sadly ended up with those 4 seconds added on to his time, but now it's the turn of Ebba Danielsson riding Nikita van der Vosberg. Youth Championships both in Italy and the Netherlands in 2 of the last 3 years. Jumped on the Nations Cup team in Zuideveld where they delivered a clear in the second round. Well, the clear rounds are starting to come now. Ebba actually just a fraction behind Liam Nilsson, although Liam, of course, had his fence down, which slowed him down a bit. But either way, Ebba's in 7th and Liam's in 6th, 2 for Sweden, now up into the top 7. So good news overall for them, you would think. Now, this is the Estonian rider coming forward next. Individual entry. Mia-Malin Leano riding Activity Z. Rode in Risemek last year and also in Bielebergen the previous year. So a third appearance in a row at these Youth European Championships. Together some decent recent results in ranking classes while jumping in Centaur in the 4-star. Nice round indeed. That's the riders that have gone clear. 75.81 is, for the moment, into 5th place. To remind you, the leading time at Timon Vos is 71.29. That leading time for the Dutchman and the current leader. So that was a great round from Mia. Very quick to the start. We weren't hanging around here as the Monegasque rider. Next in, Eva Ray, Volavent de la Serre. Sadly, again, fences going down as they try to sort of set the stall out really now. That's the first of the riders for Monaco. Saw them in Compiègne on the Nations Cup team there. This is their 3rd Europeans in a row. Carrying the 8 penalties over, or the 8 seconds. First up there for the Monaco lineup this week. Under their chef d'équipe, the experience of Philippe Bronzier keeping an eye on the riders from Monte Carlo. We move to the Spanish team. Ricardo Gerardo is their chef d'équipe, looking after them and deciding on the lineup and the order of go. Now it's Lucia Fernandez Hidalgo, who was part of that 2024 Junior Team Silver with this ride. Same horse. This now 15-year-old Bibelot Stel. The team to 2nd place with their rounds in April in France, when they jumped clear and won. Pushing on here. have certainly not coming easy. There are still only 6 combinations that have gone clear out of the 21 starters so far. That was a decent time. I mean, 73.84 as a standard time. At the moment would get you up into second place, but with the seconds added in, it goes into 9th place there for the second of the Spanish riders. Alicia Fernandez Hidalgo and Barbaros Del. So still Timon Voss, Lauren Caroline, Brian Schmidt. The top 3 are all clear. Fastest with a fence down was Bart J. Junior Van der Castile. Next to go, it's the next up for the Italians. Looking to improve on the round of Lorenzo Pivetta a little earlier on, with their second rider being Edoardo Piccini, riding here with a compagnon. Also rode as part of the lineup last year. The Italian team have had form on their side this year. The home win was something special down in Bustariccio. But no young rider European medals as a team since 2017's bronze. Currently, it's going well. It's not going to turn into the quickest round. But it has turned into a clear round. Well done. The Italian partnership there of Edoardo Piccini leaves them all standing and sticks to the time they cross the line on 79.55 for Compagnon LJ. To 12th position. Best of the 2 Italian riders we've seen so far. Belgium, of course, well, almost got off to a flyer with Bart, but unfortunately he's fenced down, but he is still sitting in 4th place. Next to go, it's Paris here. Paris Van de la Salière riding Chaco's Girl. She has medal winning experience back in 2018, part of the children's team bronze. Of course, a very different occasion today now in the young riders lineup. Just having that experience will help. The defending European champions will be hoping to at least get today underway as a team, feeling like they've put their best foot forward. Down the final line, and perhaps coming down the final line clear here. They do. They've got into the top 10, up into 8th place for Paris and Chaco's Girl. So 2 for Belgium now in the top 8. And of course we've also got 2 from Sweden up there in the top 10 as well. 76.80 with a clear round. Well, the Swiss rider Brian Schmitz is sitting in 3rd overall. Now it's another for the Swiss to go next. This is Attila Wagner, DSP Cookie HH. His 10-year-old that he rode as part of the team last year, and it didn't go the way of the Swiss last year. They struggled as a team, but we know that they've always got some chance, they, as a team, in the Youth Nations Cup final that takes place each September to round out the youth season. They took the bronze medal in third place in Lier, but unfortunately they've got 4 seconds added on. Crosses the line with 8 seconds to add Thierry Magnet there. And DSP, Cookie HH. So that's a final time of 81.63 for the Swiss rider. And of course, they've still got plenty of chances to come. It's one of the things I sort of quite like with the youth system. You have the 5, it goes down to 4, then into the 2-team rounds. That just opens the door a little bit wider on day 1 to get some positive good scores that all stay nice and close. As we move on, of course, the best Brit so far, the one Brit we've seen is Lauren Caroline sitting second. Now it's Amelie Gachud riding Lancaster. Twice already a team bronze medalist, but she will be frustrated to know that she's just had the first fence down. Children's team bronze in 2019 and 2021 junior team bronze. Yeah, doesn't get any easier there either. She did a good job to just be able to feel and balance her way out of that problem and keep going. Frustrating for these two. See, Lancaster, a different championship horse to the ones she's had in the past.
Well, unfortunately, 16 penalty seconds to add to 78.77 seconds space time, 49.7 seconds.
Not today. Well, Amelie Gachud going down the order in a final time of 94.77. Now we move our attention onwards, forwards, because I think it's Norway next. Which means it's Mikael Fred Nielsen. What can he do? Last year, got into the individual final. He's had this horse at the last 2 European Young Rider Championships, although he didn't get to the final individually when he was riding in the Netherlands, but did last year in Germany. A real mix and match of fences going down at different stages. those 8 seconds as it stands. And lands with still the 8 seconds to add. I mean, that 70.57, just as a matter of reference, is the fastest time around the course. Now, yes, there were 2 fences down, but it's still 78.57, but nobody's gone round under the 71 marker, so that was impressive in that respect. Now we're going to jump this combination, then we're going to take a 7-minute break, I'm told, for a little bit of arena maintenance. Take us up to that break. It is the hosts, Germany, Emma Buckle, riding here with Kondaleska, this mare, years of age. Again, was at the championships last summer. Back as tight as they can round the back of the little hut there for the course builders. Always that little bit of added pressure when you're the host nation, but I'm sure they can put that out of their mind to a degree. Well, the final score is 4 more than they would have wanted in terms of the clock. 81.62 for Emma and Kondaleska. So we are a third of the way through this young rider first competition here for the FEI Jumping Youth Nations Cup. Timon Vos leads the way ahead of Lauren Caroline and Brian Schmidt. Your 1, 2, 3 is the Netherlands, Great Britain and Switzerland. But there is a lot still to go. Don't go far, we'll be back on FEI TV in a moment.
First qualified for the European Championships, young riders right here at Hagen. Es ist der Preis der Gemeinde Hagen und wir sind wirklich dankbar, dass wir nicht nur hier zu Gast sein dürfen, sondern dass wir auch von offizieller Seite unterstützt werden, von der Gemeinde Hagen als Ausstatter, als Sponsor und Unterstützer dieser Prüfung, der ersten Prüfung für die FEI Jumping-Europameisterschaften hier in Hagen. Und nach dem ersten Teil haben wir die Bestzeit bei Tyler Foss von Cadillac bei 71,29, dann North Carolina für Großbritannien 74,04.
Well, here we go. Once more, we are live with you at the FEI Jumping European Championships for youth, for children, for juniors, and for young riders. And it is the young riders that is our focus here on the first day of competition. Having seen the children a little earlier on in their first competition, it's now the young riders' turn. This Table C that will set things up for the days that follow, with the initial results from the Table C being converted into penalties, and then of course that sets us on our way. And to do that conversion, simply put, this Table C, the times multiplied by 0.5 and then rounded to 2 decimal places, and then the leader is reset to 0, and then everyone else carries a difference. Hopefully that makes some level of sense as we move on, because there's plenty of sense at the moment for the Dutch when Timon Vos delivered the best of the rounds we've seen so far, and they now start us off once more into this next stage. Logan Fletcher is with us. Logan riding here with Liverella, the 10-year-old mare, certainly pushing on nicely here and hoping to try and set a good, strong standard. This track, this Table C of Christian Weigand is a cracker. It's obviously got the room to let them run and got the turns, but it's one that's really got them thinking, and at the same time has drawn out its own level of mistakes. These two have been on Senior Nations Cup duty in Budapest at the end of June. Helped the team that day to finish third. This is going rather well, isn't it? Nicely done. Oh, 74.96, crosses the line and goes into fourth individually. But to give the Netherlands now 2 places up there in the top 4 is certainly setting them up for what could be a strong start at least. So great round indeed for Logan Fletcher there, and again to say we haven't had a massive number of clears. There's what, 8, maybe 9 clears across the opening 28 riders we've seen. Moving our attention now to Poland. The next to go is Laura Klapinska, riding here with Zerrado. The team to bronze back in 2017 when she was on the children's team. And this year jumped very well in Zidovic. They jumped off and won it. Still going strongly. Right, final line. Not going to challenge the leading times though, but a clear round is what she's looking to try and achieve. And that tick is in the box. Congratulations there to Laura Klapinska and Zerrado as Poland start with a clear round that goes into 16th position, 79.92 on the clock, so about 8 seconds away. On to France, their first rider, Vera Desita, is sitting in 12th place on a time of 77.89. Next to the French riders is Pierre Ampor, riding here with Belfegor de Willy. the French team to second place in the opening Youth Nations Cup of the Year in Centaur in Belgium. Certainly keeping a nice forward rhythm to the round. Just trying to find that really fine line between going too slowly or over pushing it, and then suddenly you end up in a bigger problem. But not a lot you could have done different there. The front rail, of course, has gone, and 4 seconds is added. Eight seconds it is. And again, it's a solid time. 73.41, very much in that sort of ballpark average of where they're going round. Anywhere between 72 and 74 is a sort of majorative time before they start moving into different places once the penalties get added on. In this case, France's Pierre Ampot, they're going into 20th place on a time of 81.41 seconds with the 8 seconds added on. Beautiful part of the world here in Germany. Now it is Eloise Cubat, the combination we watch now, rides for Austria. Action maker. Had a very good individual win down in Italy in Busto alongside that Nations Cup. Championship debut as well, though, for Eloise today. Oh dear. There was just a little breakdown in communication between horse and rider, unfortunately. There wasn't anything else Eloise could really do. Well, there we go. It is 12 seconds added on to a time of 94.84, so it's 106.84. That was Action Maker. That was Eloise Cubat for Austria. Right, back to where we started, back to the Irish now, who are looking for a big round from one of their best partnerships. And of course, the young lady that has certainly got plenty of medals in her medal cabinet. 2019 children's team bronze, as she did in 2021, juniors in 23, then the juniors again in 2024, and then of course last year as then part of the Irish team, she took the 2025 junior team gold. This is Tabitha Carl with her long-standing friend and partner Destiny. Destiny is a now 18-year-old. It's only a year younger than Tabitha. We should also point out that, of course, a young rider, yes, but a young rider that arrives here after winning the CSIO 3-star World Cup Grand Prix in Budapest less than a month ago. absolute right place in terms of form. They had their outing to France earlier in the year as part of the young rider team and produced a double clear that day to help Ireland win. Beautiful start, and it's into second place, 72.85. Just a second or so away from Timon Voss's 71.29, so 72.85. Tabitha Kyle has delivered the sort of round that she would have been hoping of before she came into the arena. I do not doubt that will go down rather well with Dennis Flannelly, the rest of the Irish team. It's day one tick for Tabitha. So Timon Voss, Tabitha Kyle, Lauren Caroline, the 1, 2, 3, the Netherlands, Ireland and Great Britain. Next to go, it is the Danish partnership of Caroline Slofkjær riding Chakapezi H. Been jumping in world ranking competitions recently. Caroline, who rode at the Europeans last year, got into the individual final as she did in 2023 as well. This is going well, this is going quickly. How quickly? Maybe not quite fast enough to challenge the leader, but it's not going to be far off. This is certainly going to be up there if they land it clear, and that they have. 73.19, third for the Danish combination with Chakapezi. Well done to Caroline. Really strong round. 73.19 dislodges Lauren Caroline out of the top three. Pushes her down into fourth place, obviously. Tabitha Kyle, though, stays second, and Timon Voss stays on top. Well, the next to compete rides as an individual entry. This, the Finnish rider, Elina Salo, riding Da Vinci 345. Not the first to have done that, but not the plan. Seconds now to add. So Lena going to go over and finish with 8 seconds more and 87.08 on the clock. Lena Salo and Da Vinci 3.45, the individual for Finland.
Sweden's next competitor, with Lena's 13 years of age, son of Capriana and Jaguar male, Swedish bred, and a love quiz.
Well, joining us is a combination for Sweden. Has experience in the Baltic Championships from a couple of years ago, but now it's a step up into these Youth Europeans. Sweden, who are being looked after by their chef de keep, Henrik Liana. It's a combination that jumped well in the Grand Prix of the young riders in Ziduvald. Going to plan on this occasion for the third rider out from Sweden. Of course, they put together good rounds with Ebba Nilsson currently sitting in 12th and Liam Nilsson holding 10th position overall. There's 12 seconds to add. And it stays that way. It'll become 88.73 for Ella and Linus. For Sweden, next to go for Monaco. This is Marie Edefero riding Quercera de Mousse. Arrives here in their third straight Youth European Championships, last year finishing individually in 4th place. Again, that turn is creating so many difficulties jumping back into that parallel. The number we've seen end up with the back rail going down. So Marie for Monaco with Quercera de Mousse. 83.60. Just the 4 penalty seconds to add on to the time. Over there on the far side is the Italian Angelica Francesca Pellicari. Makes me think did we miss one? No. 2021 Children's Team Silver with Vasco. This year, again back as part of the squad now with the young riders. last year, jumping in that Nations Cup final. Stayed, I think it has. Starting to see more clear rounds coming through now, and that is another one. Goes into 7th place, especially the Italian riders by a margin 75-35. The top 7 have all gone round for a clear round. So great stuff from Angelica and Brian van der Kamp de Poge. Now we move our attention to Belgium. Laurent Spitz, of course, part of the Spitz family operation, and of course her brother is the senior European team champion gold medalist from Coruña last year, Thibaut. Thibaut himself, who has been successful at the Young Rider Championships as part of Belgium's medal-winning performances. Now, Laurent, who was on the Nations Cup team in Centre, but stood on the podium. Belgium, who have had a couple of reasonable rounds, Paris and Bart, sitting up there in the top 12 together. Just got away with the in, just clipped that back rail, but this time it stayed up. But then you could just see how the horse just lifted its head slightly and just pulled her in that last stride, and then she ends up clipping the front rail on the way up. So sadly, 4 seconds added on to a time of 72.61. So instead of going into 2nd place, that's the sort of speed she was doing, she's gone down into 12th place, just ahead of Paris, actually. We move our attention to the Swiss, who still have Brian Schmidt sitting up in 5th place currently. Philippa Bissang riding here with Cannabis de la Folie. Another carrying 4 seconds and a little bit steadier in terms of the pace. It looks as things stand as well. dear. That was her leg as much as it was the horse that brought down that wing as well. Bad luck to Philippa Bissin. Cannabis de la Folie ends up adding 8 seconds and a final time of 86.79. The Swiss will be hoping for some solid performances from their final two riders just to try and bring down the gaps. Doesn't matter even if you finish 4 or 5 places behind people, it's going to come down to that calculation over the time that will work out your faults at the end of this. Obviously the higher the better, but the closer you can stay to the leader, the less penalties you're going to end up with. Well, we turn now to Great Britain. We still have that one standout round from Lauren Caroline. Second rider Hagen a.T.W struggling, so this now is the turn of Olivia Spooner, who is already twice a team bronze medalist, and with this horse as well. The ride, the 15-year-old Bingo de Chateau, who was part of the junior team bronze in the Netherlands in 2024, and then in Germany last year, part of the bronze medal winning team for the young riders. Of course, a horse that she took over from Joe Stockdale. And what a combination these two have been able to become. Jumping very well just the other week up in Bolesworth to pick up a top 3 there in that 150. These two really do make a really enjoyable partnership to watch. She certainly worked hard and found that form, but she's still got this line to negotiate. One of Britain's big chances this week, there is no question about it, and she's quicker than Lawrence, so therefore 74.03. She is 1/100th. Yes, that's 1/100th, 0.01 of a second faster than her teammate. So there'll be absolutely nothing to choose, if not at all, between them both. Well done, Olivia. Great round. Bingo de Chateau goes 4th, for Lauren Caroline in 5th, and that gives Britain 2 riders now in the top 5. As the next up is the Norwegian rider, Mathea Romberg Christensen, riding Gonetti. Best we've seen from Norway so far, down in 18th place. Frustrating as well, though. Now on the 8-second penalty. Eight becomes 12, just like that. This has not gone to plan. 16 seconds more than the time of 72.85, converts into 88.85 for those two. A difficult round for them
Und jetzt wieder das deutsche Team mit dem 15-jährigen Katani Lacrosse nachkommen mit Kasper.
Well, Germany are up next, I think. Is
It
it Germany? Yes, it is. Little Pat, when you're ready, we will get going. Here with Romani Rosselli Tieter riding Cascadino.
Cascadino, and from Germany, Romy Rosali Tieter.
Already proving themselves on Nations Cup duty this year with the double clear in France. Romani, who was also a children's team silver medalist back in 2019, 7 years ago. That was with Wild Cherry. Missing a pedal. Has she got it back? No, not completely. No, she hasn't got it back at all. Never mind completely. Now she's got it back, but it's just one thing you didn't want to have to think about. Rattling that double, but it has stayed up. We've just got 4 seconds to add at the moment. Not a bad round. What a shame for the 4 seconds there for Romani there, Cascadino for Germany. 80.95. Germany actually down the order a bit at the moment. Jette Carstensen's the best of the German riders, sitting down in 19th place on a time of 78.95. So that's 7 seconds off the lead. Now, for the Dutch, who we know are in a good place, certainly so far, Timo Vos leading, and Logan Fatjer, they're sitting in 7th place. Now, it's the turn of Leslie Vorik, riding here with Detective Vive Z, a 9-year-old. Did compete last year in Elisenbeck. It's a horse that's also been, of course, to the Jumping World Breeding Championship finals. Got there in the 7-year-olds 2 years ago. Coming round to the final line and coming round clear as well here. This is a very, very good start for the Netherlands. Can they deliver a third clear round, and how quick can this be? Oh, what a day. What a start for the Netherlands. That's gone into second place. The Dutch riders first, second and 8th. Certainly showing that they are going to be pushing for the top spots this week. Leslie, well done. 72.15. Just under a second off the lead. Timo Vos still holds it, but Tam Fakal now down into 3rd. Yeah, that's phenomenal from the Netherlands. Poland now, Victoria. Riding here with Kapjusin van der Donkova, Victoria Janza. again, could be any fence anywhere. Four seconds as they try and just set themselves up for this final line to keep it on the 4. And Vittoria goes over the line with 4 seconds more, therefore 85.99 into 32nd place. So that was for Poland. Nation lacking a rider in the top 20 for the time being.
Jetzt, meine Damen und Herren, wir im deutschen Springen, die wir von Hamburg in diesem Jahr zum ersten Mal kennengelernt haben.
Vladimir Yazar, Raven Rock.
The 9-year-old Raven Rock by Glasgow as Cobra, Irish bred. It's Vladimir Lazar.
Rode this horse at the Europeans last year and also at the Baltic Championships as well previously. Don't forget as well, live with you tomorrow for the second day of competition from these FEI Jumping Youth Nations Cups for the children, juniors and young riders. It'll be tomorrow that we begin proceedings with the juniors. Their table C comes tomorrow morning, and then in the afternoon it's the first round of the team competition for the children. The young riders team competition then comes up, their first round on, I want to say Thursday. Sorry, so many days of the week, trying to remember which day everything's on. Vladimir Yazar and Raven Rock with 12 to add as they cross the line as well. Then that becomes 95.96. Team in boss, Leslie Volk, Tabitha Karl, 1, 2, 3. The Netherlands, Ireland. Caroline Slough for Denmark, 4th. Olivia Spooner and Lauren Caroline for Great Britain in 5th and 6th. Brian Smits currently 7th for the Swiss. And then it's Dutchman Logan Bircher in 8th. So the best for France currently is Vera de Sitter sitting down in 18th position. Next to go, Elina de Gandry, Charles Rulquin. French young rider's been looked after by Olivia Bost. Rail going into the double, adding to the score, doubles up now on 8. Charles coming round into the final line for France, still not quite clicked for the French riders so far. With the final line costing him a little more, it becomes an 85.04 final time for the French rider. Tobias Brunist is the next to go because it will be Austria once more. Right, Tobias and Ekatron Melody van der Schmidhove. This combination is the lineups next for Austria. Another nation could really do with somebody sort of bouncing up the order quite significantly. Pole on the floor, first one to go down, and it's awfully close to home before it happened. Tobias and Ekatron Melody van der Schmidhove there go over the line in 80.83 with the 4 seconds on the board.
Nach 4 Strafsekunden muss er hinnehmen. 76,83 Sekunden schnell bei einem Parcours. 80,83 seine Endzeit. So final time of 80.83 seconds.
Onwards to Ireland. Tabitha Kyle, of course, certainly pushing the Irish in the right direction with her individual performance, putting her third up. But now they need the Irish riders to follow up, really, and this is Tim Brennan, part of the young rider Team Silver, with this horse in 2025 in Riesenbeck. Very well. All the way through this summer. Coming back to the final line and doing it in the right way, doing it in a clear round way. Tim. Up, down and over the last for Tim Brennan. The Irish will be delighted because he leads the way, 71.15. He has found his way past Iman Voss by just over a tenth of a second. And the Irish star, who of course was part of that silver medal winning team last year, brings back the same ride. And for the moment jumps his way to the top of the leaderboard, and Ireland now first and fourth. The Netherlands have got riders in second and third. It was always going to be close, and there's such a long way to go. This is but day one, Table C. The real testing and twisting rounds are way ahead of us. Well done to Tim. He leads, and there are still We've got about 30 left to jump, I think so anyway. Now Denmark, Laura Sargent rides Christine Drum van Het Juxtot Z. Keep it to those 4 penalties, or those 4-second penalties. Well done to Laura Sargent. Castino does indeed keep it to the 4, and 81.25 is the time. 30 for the moment.
This is Sweden with Konrad, the Sinavarian son of Content Hoss and Cagano, 14 years of age, and Emily Johnson for Sweden.
Well, they've gone over there. There he is. Let's have a little look at this partnership. It is Emil Jonsson riding Konrad, the 19-year-old jockey. Got in to the individual final in the past. In fact, as in Villamora back in 2021. Pushing round the corner, here we go. Johnson here and Konrad into the final line with just the 4 seconds to add on, make that 8. That will become 80.33 as they do indeed finish off with just the 8 seconds to add on to the time for Sweden. Sweden's best, Liam Nilsson, up in 14th place. Now we turn to another from Monaco. This is Kristina Kabaranova riding Uriah 3. At the last 2 Europeans, both occasions with Ironi des Presavages. It's a different championship ride this year. We'll be hoping to get off to a solid and impressive start, I'm sure. This is going good. Christina's moving with pace. and confidence. She can get to the end with a clear. 71.15 to remind you is the leading time. Not sure she's quite that fast, but it's still a very nice round so far. It is a good round indeed, and it goes into 8th place, 74.06 on the clock. Kristina Gabarova, delighted, I'm sure, is now the best place to the riders from Monaco. My understanding is we will jump 2 more combinations and then take the second of the breaks, the arena maintenance breaks. And this then is Juan Rivagil, Victoria d'Argent, a man that has got plenty of experience now in top sport, as well as part of the youth setup. Time-wise, it's impressive, but not in terms of the jumping penalties, because that 70.76 would have otherwise been the quickest of the times. But Juan Rivagil, Victoria d'Argent, suffers 1 fence falling and drops 10 places. So 10th then for the Spanish star. That's the difficulty that the time being added on gives you, and Tim Brennan will be relieved because he's still leading. Now the Italian combination to take us up to the break is Matteo Camparelli, now here with Gontendro. Double clear to help Italy's win at home in Bustorizio, the Nations Cup on the Youth Series. Well, to stay on. I think that did just unsettle her horse a little bit there, Contendro. Now, will struggle to come back for a second attempt as well. Sadly, not their day. Bad luck to Matteo Camparelli there for Italy. So we are 2/3 of the way through this Nations Cup, or this, I should say, Jumping European Championship. The nations come together. This is the Young Riders and the first competition. It is Ireland's Tim Vos that leads. From the Netherlands is Tieme Vos and Leslie Burrick in second, third, and 10th for car. For Ireland, there in 4th place is how it is in the top few places. Short pause and we come back.
championship card is on the last place. Is having us this weekend.
Like the legend of the phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Look. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cause to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 The present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cause to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get. We're up all night to get. We're up all night to get. We're up all night to get.
Wanna go far, wanna have fun, wanna think happy, show me how to stand. Look so pretty, live like the sun. I could watch forever while you shine on
your skin. I wanna be perfect like all your other friends. You look so pretty, pretty like the wind. Every time you touch me, I feel adrenaline. Wanna go hard, wanna have fun. Wanna be happy, show me how to. You look so pretty, pretty like the sun. I could watch forever while you shine on me. Wanna be happy, wanna be pretty. Wanna be happy, wanna be like the sun. Wanna be happy, wanna be pretty. Wanna be happy, wanna be like the sun. Wanna be, wanna be, lost in the night, the eyes of arms open wide. The moonlight will guide us where no one can find us. Two hearts lost in the night. Midnight, just you and I. We dance in the dark. Can rewrite or redesign what's told in the stars. 'Cause you found me alone, searching for. Moonlight will guide us where no one can find us. Two hearts lost in the night.
And in between, time 470s you've rolled with the second and third best score. Time to beat the stars in 71.15 seconds. Caroline Stotker and Olivia Studer for Denmark and Great Britain among the top 6 at the moment. Now we're starting to the last third, the last part of this first competition of the FEI Jumping European Championships for young riders.
Welcome along or welcome back. Great to know you're there here on FEI TV. The final part of the day is this final third of the first competition for the FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth for the young riders, the Table C, led individually by Tim Brennan from Ireland at the moment, 71.15. This speed class is led by the Irish rider. And then Dimon Vos, Leslie Warwick, the Dutch duo second and third. Ireland again in fourth for Tabitha Carl, Caroline Sloth in fifth for Denmark, and Olivia Spooner in sixth place. Next up to kick things back off in this is Belgium, the defending champions, and their next rider is going to be Jeff Peters riding Galina van Riesthoff. Well, here in Hagen, of course, different venues. I've got to be clear about that. The Nations Cup, when we talk about Hagen, is Hofcastelman, which is the other side of town. So they delivered that double clear. It was, in fact, a very good day for Belgium, by quite a margin. But again, just not quite gone their way in these early Table C rounds. The riders from Belgium, best of which sitting in 13th at the moment. Now with 8 seconds to add.
First off, this last spot. in this class is
So that, as you can see, becomes a time of 82.38. 82.38, putting them down the order for Jeff Peters. There for
Auftaktprüfung der jungen Reiter kommt aus der Schweiz. Pandy Floss, belgische Stute des 10 Dr. Mike Casal und Celia Biassi.
Celia Biassi now, the Swiss rider with Pandy Floss, who came into the team just at the last minute to replace World Championship bound. What's the World Championship bound Swiss rider Gaetan Joliet. They've gone to Arca. So Candy Boss E. Fighting a little bit to get straight off that turn. Just let the horse drift more than was needed. 4 seconds coming their way, but it's still 78.27 to 82.27. Celia Biassi and Pandy Floss, then the Swiss partnership, into 36th place, just behind Thierry Wagner. Next to go, back to the Brits, and this is the turn of Noura van Bülow. Noura, who is just 18, actually could still be jumping in the junior Europeans, but has already moved on and up into young riders. She's a medal winner both at children's level and junior level, with team bronze in 2021 and 2023. She also was part of the junior team bronze in 2024. Now the young riders delivered a double clear in Zuiderwald Nations Cup on the youth circuit this year. A little bit lucky, but I tell you again, this is turning into some round of jumping. Okay, she's just taken a little bit steady there, but she's absolutely flown so far. She's got to be careful down here, but this is super quick for Noura van Bülow. She's the youngest in the class. She could still be a junior. She's up into young riders a year before she was needed. And look at that. She leads the way on the opening day. What an amazing performance from the British rider. And it means that we have 3 Brits in the top 8, but it is now Noura van Bülow that leads overall here on day 1, round 1, class 1 for the young rider challenge. Rider Europeans. We are not done yet, so I'm not going to say it's done and dusted, but no one else has gone round that quick. Even Henri Vergil, who ended up on a score with 4 seconds added on, was only was quarter of a second slower. So Noura has certainly moved the game on a little bit with that round as we move out to City Edison. Mr. Hagen a.T.W is the next to go. This is, oh dear, 4 seconds to add is what that is. Partnership we saw at last year's Europeans in Isenbeck, who jumped to the Baltic Championships. That's a shame. She's out of time.
So
8 seconds more than the time on the score, so it's 84.05 for Norway. Having the easiest of days, the Norwegian contingent of riders so far. Germany back to the hosts. Best of the German riders, though, currently sat down. I need to look that up actually, because they're down lower than my screen was set up to go. Tyler Carstensen sitting down in 24th position is the best so far. Max Pascheritz now with Food Fox Clotilde H. 9-year-old. Rode on the junior team 3 years ago in Italy. Did win the Grand Prix though for the German leg of the Youth Nations Cup Series. And again, we're seeing a quality round of jumping. Trying desperately not to take any unnecessary risks here, Max. It's not going to be as fast as the likes of the leader, but it still could well go into the top 10, should well go into the top 10. Does indeed, goes 6th, 73.16. Germany needed that. Certainly needed that. A impressive round. Of course, we've still got one more rider to come as well, with Tom Mathisen later in the draw. The Finnish rider up next is an individual entry. Janne get ready and set to go. Jumped in the juniors last year. He was very quick on the opening day because he finished 3rd in the opening competition last year with this ride, Saltus Quinlan. Ended up dropping down the order over the course of the week, but certainly had the pace on the opening day. Doesn't look short of pace here today either. Got a lovely stride into the double, as good as I've seen all day. Keeping the rhythm. This is going well. Having to be a little bit steady, sensible on his way to the Schumacher double. And then pushes on to the last. Where's the clock going to stop? It's going to go 72.24, 5th place. Tony Ely there has yet again shown how to put together a decent time in the Table C, which starts the championship off for the individual partnership there for Finland in a very, very strong way. So great news for them. Now to the Dutch, who we know are having an exceptional day.
we have horses on course, it would be nice if you don't slip downhill. Please stay calm and sit.
Dutch third, fourth and 14th with their top three riders. Must be the best of them. Now, though, what a two still to go for the Netherlands. Finn Borkamp, the old Dutch rider here with Danny Boy the third Z, a former champion of the children's category in 2019, Team Gold on Gandini. So 2023 Junior Team Silver. Really bringing plenty of youth medal experience to the team. Boy certainly looking around, jumping the fences with real ease. Doesn't look quick, but I can assure you this round is as quick as any of those towards the top of the order. This is a very good, very quick round indeed. Oh, what a day the Dutch have had. What an amazing day. They've gone fourth there with Finn. The Netherlands, third, fourth and fifth. If that doesn't guarantee them the lead going in, well, it might not, but it will go a long way. I'm going to say that because there could be it'll guarantee them the lead. You can't see that it wouldn't going into the team days. It's going to be awfully close between them and the Irish and Great Britain in there as well. Real close mix. Well, we move our attention now to another of the individual entries, this time riding for Croatia. 18-year-old, another of the young jockeys in the young riders, and a rider that rode in the youth championships over the last couple of years in the juniors is Indy Schmilesa riding Camacho. Seconds to add to the time, and that is 76.24. The times get converted into penalties. Things will stay neat and close between so many of them. I was just having a quick look at the children from this morning. The top 79 combinations separated by 2 fences, 8 penalties. 79 partnerships with less than 2 fences between them. Well, we move our attention now to Poland. Little tap of the toe, but we're okay. This is Anna Serika riding Dynamo RW. Unfortunately, having to come again. Seems to have got back into a decent rhythm. Just backed up a little bit there. She'll have to just get her leg on, get going around the corner. And that she's done. Oh no, that she hasn't. Sadly, not to be. Oh dear. Ooh, I hope we're okay. Horse and rider both down, but horse and rider both back up. And she gives the horse a pat and says, "Not today." What a shame. Well, that is a shame. Because she got going again and just think had a difficult stride, and in the end having to walk away with Hagen a.T.W. Bad luck to Anna Surica. A little bit of rebuilding going on before we can restart. Romania will go next.
70.51 seconds in the lead. Then the Irish rider Tim Brennan in second, 71.15 and 3.
Van Bulow leading, Tim Brennan second. Tamar Voss, Finn Borkamp, Leslie Brick, Jonny Hill, Tababakal, Max Pascheritz, Caroline Sloth, Olivia Spinner. That's your top 10 currently. Trying to beat 70.51. So this is Sakrina Diana Zaria riding Blackjack GDRZ. The Romanian rider has an individual entry. Baltic Championships in Belgrade last year. Though having a fence down right towards the start of this course at fence 2. Carrying 16 seconds to add as she comes towards the final line.
So we have 20 seconds to add for Diana Zaharia and Blackjack.
The start they would have wanted, having
2.42 seconds.
returned to the Europeans. They did jump at the Europeans in the Netherlands a couple of years ago.
2 years ago, he was part of a gold-winning team.
Right, where do we look to? We look to France next to go.
And now, this is French rider with the 11-year-old course by
Rider number 4 for Team France.
Hagen a.T.W for France.
Olivia Bost's line-up of riders. Hagen a.T.W rides Kos, 2024 junior team gold medalist, then riding Amour d'Orangeau win the Europeans that we had in the Netherlands. Combination have already been in good form at this sort of height this year as well, earlier in the year, having a win down in Saint-Tropez in the Big Tour 145 with Kos. So a partnership you'd think will go nicely today. It's certainly also a bloody big frame and stride, as they can use that stride and make the turns. Just really has to work quite hard though to make the turn. Jack, knowing his horse, manages it well. Nice round, very nice indeed. It's not quick in terms of those that we've seen from others, but in terms of those that we've seen from France, it is, because it's the best of the French rounds we've had so far. They still have one rider to come, but that was Jack Gato. 75-77 leaves the fences standing. Gets within about 5 seconds of the lead, so not too far off in terms of points. Good round from them both. Right, on we go to Austria. Emily Sprantz riding Coupe de Coeur GP Madame Z. Last year, of course, also on the Austrian team. They win as well this year in Barcelona in the Nations Cup. Well, they get home on 82.88. It'll become 90 because of the clock adding the 8 seconds in, but still getting a lot of support. The Austrian team has certainly come with plenty of supporters this week. What that means is we've got 15 still to go, and it'll be the 15 final riders are all part of the teams, I believe, if I've got that right. But we now sort of go through that sort of final rotation, the sort of final rider of each of the teams. Teams on day one in the Youth Nations Cup, the young riders, the children and the juniors, made up to 5 members with the best 3 scores counting. They then drop them into the 4s when we go into the team competitions. So Tom Watchman is here to anchor things in. Ireland certainly have got strength in depth, there is no doubt about it, and of course coming straight off the back of a lovely 5-star win in Rome, and what a rider this young man is. He is some jockey. Of course he's already shown his quality with young rider team gold in 2024, junior team gold as well in 2023. He's I'm sure he would do it easy with one aim, and that is not only to help Ireland to another gold medal, but as well to perhaps try for the young rider individual title himself. Five European youth medals in his career already at the age of 21, and now a big part of the Senior Nations Cup setup as well. Wanting to keep it all tidy. Ireland need him to keep it tidy because the Dutch have done such an amazing job today. They need 3 in the top 10 and they've got 2. And is this about to be the 3rd? Yes, because Tom goes into 10. Super performance. Do it easy. Makes it look as easy as we've seen. And that will be the start that Ireland will have wanted. Dennis Lanley, the chef to keep, I'm sure, will be over the moon. Tom just ticking the boxes as he went round, with him in 10th, Taber in 7th and Tim in 2nd. It ensures that whatever happens, they're not going to be that far off any score that the magical Dutch trio that are 3rd, 4th and 5th are going to create out of today's class. Of course, the Brits in 1st, 11th and 12th will not be far off the pace either. But it's going to be exceptionally tight. Now, on we go to the Czech rider. Another individual entry. did miss, and we have another who rode 2 years ago. 3 years ago, actually, was the Italian year. We were in Italy. She was on the team in the juniors. This then is Emma Sofia Spranco riding Duo de Roy. Recently been competing at the Nations Cup, the EEF Nations Cup in Belgium. Jumped 8 and clear in that senior CSIO 3-star. Steadying needed. So far so good though, with the fences still standing. They'll stick with the time they're about to get, 76.25, just outside the top 20. Spranco and Duo de Roy keeping it all upright as that combination. Competing here as individuals. Final Danish rider of the day is the next to go. To remind you, the best of the Danish riders, Caroline Sloth, KER, sitting up in 9th place. Now Caroline Gunsten. She rides here with Landlist Contra. The 3rd European Championships in a row. Doesn't start as anyone would want with the first fence going down. Her previous championship she's ridden Landlist Calicon, so a different horse this year in the shape of this 13-year-old mare by Di Capo. Eight at the end, so 82.31, not to push any higher. Getting into the top 45 for Caroline Gunsten there and Landlist. It's fluttering along in the breeze. Round now we look to Sweden, Alice Borgland. To get going here, then Alice, we're careful enough. Way of a little gentle rob over the far side. Now coming back That is gone. 4 is added. Now it is another 4 for 8. Sticking to the 8 by the end of the round, so 84 dead on the clock for the last of Sweden's lineup of riders. That was Alice Borgen there. Enough. Sweden certainly not finding it as good going as they did in the children's class a little earlier on today.
Free to go. Number 17 on our starting list is one of the youngest horses on course. 8 years of age.
Yeah, just an 8-year-old now, Mikael Canales Ripoll riding Eldorino PS. To the Spanish, still the best Spanish rider is Juanri de Gil, who of course sitting in 15th place, having had a fence down, otherwise he'd be sitting in 2nd place at the moment. Despite rattling 1 or 2, they're all still standing. A shame because they have been putting together what was quite a nice round, and that means they're not going to get home on the time they stop. It's 8 seconds carrying, and 8 seconds it is, 74.92.
And then in the end we have 8 battery seconds there, just 74.92 seconds. At the end it's 82.92 for the Spanish rider. And next up is Italy, once more. 14-year-old son of Arco and Bamako de Bus. Merci van Reutershoofd. We're excited for Greta Lepratti.
On to the Italians. Greta Lepratti now. Merci van Reutershoofd is the final Italian rider to come forward with the Arco Stallion. And Italy deliver a strong performance. Their best rider down in 17th place as it currently stands. Greta, who has been a regular part of team lineups in recent years, both in juniors. Yeah, stepping through into the young riders as well. Into the top 10 with this ride in that World Cup Grand Prix that Taylor Carl won back at the end of June. Still clear here. Greta putting a classier performance together with every jump now behind her. It's looking stronger for those still in front of her, and that's only one more jump left to go. This is a very neat, tidy and quick round. 71.68 has just split that little group of Dutch riders. And Greta Lepretti's gone into 4th place overall. 71.68, superb performance. She's 100th of a second faster than Finn Borkamp, the Dutchman, who's now in 5th place. Still, though, the top 3, Nora van Bulow, Tim Brennan and Timon Vos. Now to Belgium, who, like a strong end, what has not necessarily been their best of days. It'll It'll be Louise Avenue riding Caliber, the 11-year-old mare by Verdi. Part of the junior Team Gold performance from 2022 when she rode Nasty Boy de Muse. The defending champions have certainly not had the start that they would have loved to have. But they sure won't be out of play yet. So much is going to happen over the two actual jumping rounds. And first and foremost, the first round's got to qualify yourself. Only 10 of the 15 or 16 teams we've got in the young riders will actually go into that second and final round of jumping. And down time for 78.71 for Louise Avenue for Belgium.
74.71, race time plus 4, 78.71 in the end.
Where are we looking to for the next to go? It will be
Belgiens, die roten Jackets der Schweiz mit Nestor vorne, 14 Jahre alt, 13 Jahre alt von Houston, ein Horstein aus der belgischen Zucht. Und Noah Keller for Switzerland.
Noah Keller riding Nesta VDR. It's time and again been part of the Swiss lineup as he's come through the youth ranks, delivering plenty of double clear performance. Noah's pushing on a little bit here. You can see he's trying to challenge those top times. He wants to be in the mix right here on day one. Carrying nothing at the moment. The time would just stick as it is. There's 3 uprights left, or 3 jumping efforts left. Oh dear, and one's come down, so it won't stick on the time that we see. It is 4 seconds, 72.21. That would have got you into 7th place. Have fence down, you're going down into 22nd place. Well, the attention will turn in a moment to the first of the final 7 to go, because this is the final British rider and the young lady that returns to defend the title that she won here 12 months ago. That was with Quality Street. This year it is Rachel Proudly riding Capri. As part of the HK team, one of their horses, Morgan Kent and Richard Howley. Great Britain, who have won the individual young rider title for the last 2 runnings. Rachel, who was constantly proving her Amazing abilities. She's not rushing like we've seen with one or two of the others. She knows she's playing the long game.
And also Rachel Bradley and Gabriel.
Well done, Rachel. Nice start. 76.52 on the clock as Capri crosses the line. 25th in the order, but the team have got their strong rounds in from the top three grips so far.
Norway, last competitor for the
The Norwegian lineup is where we'll be looking for the next two come from. Here they are. Emily Marie Litland riding Catch Me Du Colin.
And please, kids don't slip down the hill while the horses are on course. Bitte nicht die Welle runterrutschen, während die Pferde in der Wand sind. Dankeschön.
Ooh, no. Never had the stride they needed coming off the corner, unfortunately. Amelie Marie Litland here and Catch Me Du Colin. Again, we go back to seeing the in of the double going down. It's been perhaps the toughest of the jumps on this course, but they've all been causing their own issues. Amelie Marie Litland there for Norway. We're down to the final 5 to go. Combination there on a time of 81.19. Riders to come from Germany, the Netherlands, Poland, France and Austria. Last up then for Germany.
This is Germany. This is Jaguar and Thomas Thyssen.
So Thomas Thyssen next up. We'll be hoping that she can deliver the sort of round that brings Germany right up the leaderboard. Hold tight. Oh, somehow not sure that she really had all the control she was hoping for there, but somehow recovered. I'm still not sure she's got the control she needs, but she's still jumping it somehow. This is unbelievable. Now she's quite sensibly said, I'm not going to try and jump the next one there. Oh, what a shame for Thomas. Right, she's got that control back again now. home line. Last rider of the day for Germany. Ooh, it's not got any easier. Of course, lost a lot of time with the circle in the middle of the course when she was losing her control, but in the end, when you add it all together, it's 106.10 for Thomas Giessen and Younger Riff. And then there were 4 to go.
It's 106.10 seconds for Jana, Riff and
Nick Manning.
We've only 4 more
Horse
competitors in this
Jim
class, and this is horse
Klasina,
and one more strong rider.
a junior team silver medalist back in 2022 and in 2023 with a horse called Bandia. Nick Manning then not going to be able to mix it up with those 3 Dutch scores. Oh dear, really got it wrong coming round the corner. Didn't have a stride, ends up grinding to a halt. The final line any moment now. Here they are to they have to add 4 on in terms of seconds over the final fence. 84.65 it'll be for Nick Manning. That's the last up of the Dutch riders, but the Netherlands still in a great place.
3 more to go. This is Poland with the last combination on course. Jelovinka from Israel by commandant Sidokcho and Magdalena Kalusha.
Magdalena Kalusha next. This therefore is Poland's last rider in the team. Can't quite make that back rail either. First to have had that down. It's now 12 seconds to add to the time. We have a final time at 95.86 for the Polish rider of Magdalena Kalusa with Jelly Minka. 2 more to go, 1 for France, 1 for Austria. France obviously therefore first, alone Roussel with Liberty D. Best French rider is still Hagen a.T.W, sitting down in 20th position currently. This 10-year-old that she's riding, Liberty D. Coming into the final line, the French combination trying to get home with a good solid clear if they can. It would put them probably as the best of the French riders today, and that is going to do that. 74.11 into 15th place to be the highest scoring or the best scoring French partnership. 1 more to go. Nora Van Bulow heading closer to a cracking start to her young rider European chase. The last in is the Austrian rider Antonia Wixelborn, riding Chalibet 3. European teams in 2 of the last 3 years. Recently finished 3rd in the Grand Prix in Babylona. A big moment for the last to go of the day. Is it to be Switzerland or Great Britain individually in front going into the second day? Of course, whoever ends up winning this has got to keep jumping clear for 5 more rounds of sport if they're going to stay there. That stayed with her now. This horse, the 12-year-old, first appeared at the championships in Italy in 2023. Has become a regular championship ride for her ever since. Well, perfect end to the day when you end with a clear like that. Well done to Antonia Wixelborn and Chalibet 3. They'll finish in the top 20, going into 19th place. So that is the first table seed done, the round of speed for the Youth Nations Cup for the young riders. European Championships of 2026. Well done, Nuala van Berlo. The British rider comes out on top in the table C with Primavera ahead of Ireland's Tim Brennan and the Dutch rider Timon Post. Italy's Gaeta Laprati in fourth place, then the Dutch again in fifth and sixth with Finn Borkamp and Leslie Boric. Hannah Illy takes seventh, eighth goes to Ireland's Tabitha Carl, and in ninth place it will be Max Pascheritz ahead of Caroline Sofkier in 10th place for Denmark. So there you have it, but well done, Nuala van Berlo. The 18-year-old leads the FEI Jumping European Championships of Youth for the young riders after day one. So the young riders will have tomorrow off, return on Thursday for the first round of the teams. Meanwhile, tomorrow morning we will get underway with the Table C for the juniors, and then we'll have the first team round for the children in the afternoon. Plenty coming your way, all live on FEI TV. We've got a lot to enjoy this week. Stay with us. It's going to be quite some journey.
Starting with the 8th place, 7, 6, 5 and 4th, and then the best 3 riders and the horses that will enter the arena. The podium among the top 3 will be held with the highlight of this prize-giving ceremony starting in a few minutes, and then we prepare everything for the opening night. To welcome you all, the official opening ceremony will start at 7:30. Just enough time to have a nice shower, have a nice dinner, and then let's celebrate the FEI Jumping European Championships in Hagen 2026.
I should've walked away, but I was blind. Thought you would change someday. Now I'm stronger than I've ever been, and I'm not going back again. I'm wide awake, finally seeing clear for the first time. I'm wide awake, I don't need you anymore. I'm fine, wide awake, finally seeing clear for the first time.
Meine Damen und Herren, es ist alles bereitet, damit wir zur ersten großen Zeremonie bei der Siegerehrung kommen können für die jungen Reiter. Der Preis der Gemeinde Hagen ist entschieden und hier ist unser Ehrenkomitee. Unser Ehrenkomitee hat Position bezogen und wir hoffentlich auch. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Committee of Honor is now in place to welcome the top placed riders. And in 7th position, we welcome the 7th place rider from Finland, home nation's best rider in this class, Seltas Kilian and Jone Ili. In 6th place, from the Netherlands, Detective Vivazet and Liesje Vrolijk. Finnburgkamp and Danny Boy in 5th place, but this is the Italian squad. This is the 4th place from Merci van Reutershofen, Greta Lepratti, Italy. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the European Championships. This is the first competition for the young riders, and I think we all should get our hands together to welcome the top 3 combinations. And first of all, and most especially, the winning combinations. So please, each and everybody, a huge round of applause for Timon Voss, Tim Brennan, and the winning combination, Primavera and Nora von Bülow, Great Britain. It's the first competition for the FEI Jumping European Championships Young Riders in 2026 right here in Hagen. It's the prize of the Township Hagen, der Preis der Gemeinde Hagen als Auftaktprüfung der FEI Springen, Europameisterschaften der jungen Reiter. And this class has been won with 70.51 seconds top time. Nobody else was quicker than this time, and she took the victory away with the... But the top time will be mentioned later. We start with the 3rd place. Wir beginnen mit dem 3. Platz, meine Damen und Herren. The 3rd place today, 71.29 seconds to Cadillac and Timon Voss, Netherlands. 3rd place. The 2nd place, 71.15 seconds goes to Ireland. Diadema de la Caccia, Tim Brennan, 2nd place. Congratulations. But now, That's her time, 70.151 seconds. That's the winning time with the 13-year-old daughter of Milot Kartago, Cornelia Belinsky with Primavera. The winner is Nora van Bülow, Great Britain. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask you to be all upstanding for the national anthem of Great Britain for Nora van Bülow. Simon Voss, third place, Tim Brennan second, but the winning combination is Primavera and Nora van Bülow. Receiving the congratulations from the Judges' Tower, represented by Renate Wassing-Schumann, together with Laura van den Graaf and Gunda Reimers, the judges of this class. And of course, it's the prize of the Township Hagen. We're very delighted to be welcomed by you all, and especially by the mayor of the Township Hagen, Christine Müller. Thank you very much for having us this week and this weekend. Congratulations on the sport directors, Max and Mick Hauenhorst, representing not only the family Hauenhorst, but the whole team that is organizing the FEI Jumping European Championships. Of course, we have special prizes presented by CWD. Not only obstacle number 6 on course, but also the special prizes that Timo Schulz brought for the winning combination, Nora van Bülow. So this is it, the first flag that is shown for the winners in the speed and handiness class to open and to start the FEI Jumping European Championships for young riders. That is the British flag. And now it's her turn to lead the way in the lap of honor. Primavera and Nora van Bülow, take your lap of honor. So this is it. But of course, she receives her very own lap of honor, Nora van Bülow and Primavera. Come together. This is the place to be. This is the place for the children, juniors and young riders in show jumping this week and this weekend. And it's the first day of competition, and we'd like to welcome you all. The opening evening with the main theme, United in Riding. That is what the family Hauenhorst stands for, and that is what we all are united in. The horses make it possible to be one team, one big nation united in riding. And we start the opening night at 7:30 at with a lot to see, a lot to celebrate, and to welcome all the teams and nations officially in this weekend. So, nice to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few, about 2 hours time to prepare for the opening evening, starting at 7:30.
Ja. Hier ist der Ort, wo Träume Hufe kriegen. Sportpferde M&M Hauenhorst. Let's go! Hey, hey. Willkommen bei M&M, hier geht's hoch hinaus.